The boomers are the epitome of narcissism, greed, corruption. When the boomers were young men, they voted for union laws, labor laws. They voted to increase their own economic power. At the same time, they voted and supported women being sexually liberated during a time when there were still, some somewhat decent women. I mean, they hit it well. They hit the thought proclivities well. And when the boomers got to 40 and 30, they voted to increase their stock options. They voted to increase how much money they made in the stock market. And now, when the boomers are near retirement, they're voting for increased Social Security. They're voting for cheap labor because they're hiring people. Every single policy the boomers supported was simply for themselves. When they were young, it was for minimum wage. When they were young, it was for easy access to college. Who cares if college is super expensive in 30 years? Who cares if the country's demographics have completely changed in 40 years? We're almost retired. And then the boomers started pushing for legislation called reverse mortgages. Let's reverse mortgage the boomers' parents' house, grandma's house. And let's take that money and let's go on cruises. Let's take that money and let's put grandma and grandpa away in a nursing home so we don't have to deal with them. Yeah, all the money goes to finance companies and corporate holding groups that buy private nursing homes and buy assisted living facilities, and you're really throwing away your family's chance at generational wealth. But can you imagine a boomer having to take care of their parents? That's just too much. They're independent, they're free. Every single boomer movement has destroyed this country, has weakened this country, has made life shit for young men. Every single one. So here we have a boomer who's really mad that the illegal immigrants that were working on his McMansion got deported. This boomer is mad because the illegal migrants who shouldn't be in this country in the first place got deported, which means his McMansion, the house that's way too big for himself, that's super customized, that nobody else is going to be interested in, is being delayed in its construction. Retiree is upset that ICE raided a construction site in Florida because the house he's buying will now experience a delay in construction. These guys provided valuable labor for us. Makes me sick. The reason why boomers like illegal migrant labor is because it's cheap. If the market was allowed to respond to young American men, you know how much you can make building houses for boomers? There are now these illegals drive the wages down of jobs like yard care, jobs like construction, trading jobs, low skill jobs, all jobs. If there were no illegals in this country and the boomer wanted to buy a house, he'd have to pay wages that made it worthwhile for young American citizen men to work. The reason why you can't buy a house working as a construction worker is because the boomers pay illegal migrants a third of what they should be paying you. Okay? The reason why you can't make enough money to start a business by mowing yards, the reason why you can't work in construction and pay off college, the reason why you can't work in fast food or work as a lifeguard and save up for a car is because boomers opened the border and they paid illegals dirt, because those illegals take that money and they send it back to their third world shitholes to live like kings. That's why. Open borders is a male issue. Open borders is your power as a young man being ripped from you so fat, rich, old, senile boomer fucks could go on another cruise to Jamaica. But if we deport illegals, building a new house is going to cost $800,000 instead of $600,000. You don't need a new house. I don't care if boomers buy new houses. I care if young men can buy houses. Buy their first house. My father and his friends, they bought their first house in their mid-20s. Okay? How old are you guys going to be when you buy a house? How many of you guys are even planning on buying a house? I'm not talking about the old guys. If you're under the age of 35, what do you guys plan on buying a house? Do you plan on buying multiple houses? For most young men I know, the dream is just buying a house. a townhouse, a property. Boomers were buying houses when they were 25, thinking about buying vacation houses, vacation homes, boats. Let's just open up the borders. Let's listen to this boomer's rage.
Construction of our home is in jeopardy because the labor situation is completely unknown.
Andy Adamick is supposed to move into his new home in July, and he likes the guys who are working on it. He doesn't know what their immigration statuses are, but they were not there when he checked on the house Tuesday.
Because these guys provide a valuable labor force.
Boo-hoo, boomer. Boo-hoo. Take your $1.7 million nest egg and consider paying an American man his labor value. Stop giving the treasures of this country away so you can be comfortable in your McMansion and watch Fox News all day, you useless, senile boomer. What's this? They're insufferable. Here we go. Even as a conservative, those of you that are 100% against any kind of immigration have never run any labor-intensive company, and it shows. Allow these construction companies and other companies that need labor to bring in workers on visas, and as long as the immigrants don't commit any crimes, let them come and work. No, it's not about legality. It's not. You want to bring in young men from shithole countries, you want to bring in men from shithole countries to take away the value of my labor. You want to devalue your son's labor so you could be comfortable in your McMansion. Disgusting. These people are disgusting. I can't stand boomers. That's why I never feel bad if I'm doing a post-stroke workup and the boomer and the boomer's wife are crying. Like, we can't afford this. How will we get to sell a vacation house? I think you're going to need another CT, boomer. Chalk it up.